Prince Harry was provided with official royal security throughout his life because of his seniority within the royal family. New reports obtained by Canadian media have shown the Duke of Sussex costed taxpayers over £250,000 with his frequent visits to the country in the early stages of his relationship with Meghan Markle. CBC News reporter Elizabeth Thompson reported that Meghan was escorted by Scotland Yard police bodyguard at the Invictus Games opening ceremony in 2017, with Canadian taxpayers bearing the heavy costs. Ms. Thompson said, "Prince Harry has usually for his entire life been surrounded by security. And when he has visited Canada, the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, works with the British security to make sure that he stays safe in Canada, but it's cost a lot more than Canadians realize." The documents that were released to CBC News under access to information show that between January 2016 and February 2020, it cost more than $334,000 to sub in an additional cost for the RCMP to supply security for him, and that's above and beyond the salaries of the officers who were assigned to protect him. She continued, "Now a lot of people might think that the most expensive period was when they spent that Christmas in Canada and they were thinking of stepping back and maybe living in Canada part-time. But in fact, the most expensive period was the period that you mentioned. It was 2017 to 2018. He had a week-long period where he was doing official engagements with the Invictus Games that he founded. He also appeared at We Day and gave out some Duke of Edinburgh awards and things like that, but it was also the period where he had started seriously dating Meghan Markle, who was living in Toronto while she was filming the show Suits. So the paparazzi who you started hanging out around Meghan Markle's house when it became known that they were sort of dating, they used to see like 6 big black SUVs on this little suburban residential street that she lived on, and in those SUVs were British security but also RCMP. During the Invictus Games opening ceremony, Meghan Markle attended the event alongside her now husband Prince Harry and her best friend Markus Anderson. Meghan was safeguarded by a royalty protection squad officer who could be seen standing in a stairwell. However, Meghan, who was not yet engaged to Prince Harry and a commoner, was not entitled to taxpayer-funded RCMP. Prince Harry's visits between April 2017 to March 2018 cost taxpayers $182,430. The cost did not cover police officers' salaries but money for overtime work and their travel expenses. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex with baby Archie moved to Canada in 2020. They were provided security by RCMP, which cost taxpayers approximately $33,000 a month. Assistant Commissioner, Commanding Officer Quebec Division, RCMP, Pierre-Yves Bourdieu has said that the RCMP has to consider the danger/threats and provide them with protection ahead of any VIP visiting Canada. He said, "They still have a responsibility, because what if something would happen to that very important person in our country? The ripple effect could have a negative reflection on our country, and how seriously we are taking the security of these types of individuals that are enjoying the hospitality of our country." Prince Harry and Meghan announced their exit from the royal family on January 18, 2020, and stepped down as active royal members were scraped of their security by the firm. Another news, the rift between Prince Harry and his dad may be as damaging to the future king as that between Prince Charles and Princess Diana, a royal insider has claimed. Richard Kay, who was a personal friend of the Princess of Wales, suggested that the relationship of the royal father and son could have long-term, serious implications. He was speaking as Harry was dragged into allegations of cash for honours that was engulfing his father's charity. The Duke of Sussex said he severed ties with Saudi billionaire Mahfouz Murray Mubarak bin Mahfouz a year before he was presented the CBE by Prince Charles. Harry reportedly had concerns over the businessman's motives. Harry said he had no involvement in what he described as the CBE scandal. Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, said, "He doesn't mention Charles by name in his statement, but it's a clear case of one-upmanship." Earlier this year the Duke told Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast he had experienced genetic pain, in which Prince Charles passed on trauma from his own royal upbringing. This week Kay suggested the CBE issue was worse than Harry criticizing his upbringing. But the broadside he launched questioning the motives of Dr. Mahfouz Murray Mubarak bin Mahfouz and highlighting his own concerns about the Saudi businessman, is an implicit challenge to Charles's judgment, he claimed. Such a rebuke, especially if it continues, could have an impact on the prince as monarch as we edge closer to his reign. And it is why this week those close to Charles are viewing the unraveling of the relationship between father and son as potentially as damaging as that between the prince and Princess Diana. If Kay is right, Charles' rift with Harry could prove an issue for the future king.